As you may recall, the First Amendment protects five of our freedoms: freedom of religion, of speech, of press, of assembly, and of petition. And the intent here was to protect political rights, right? To make sure that we could stand up to the government and stop the government from becoming tyrannical. This means that to this day, if the federal government, or since the First Amendment has been incorporated, state governments try to restrict our speech, the courts are going to be more critical of laws that might restrict political speech than laws that would not. Because there are laws that restrict our speech that are perfectly allowable under the Constitution. So, for example, speech intended to defraud is not protected, right? Fraud is illegal. Speech intended to defame is not protected. So that could be in the case of spoken speech, that would be slander. In the case of written speech, that would be libel. Those are not protected, assuming they are lies and intended to defame. Speech that poses a clear and present danger is not protected. That includes things like threatening speech. Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes, in the case of Schenck versus the US, explained this as speech gave the example of yelling fire in a crowded theater. Now, in Schenck, he actually set up the bar of clear and probable danger. Since then, the court has made it a little bit harder for the government to restrict our speech, raising that bar to clear and present danger, meaning that there has to be an element of imminence. The speech must clearly pose a danger that is imminent. Now, Justice Potter Stewart gave us another type of speech that can be limited: obscenity. Now, what is obscene? It's a hard question to answer, right? Pornography is actually protected under the Constitution. It is considered to have some sort of redemptive social or artistic value. However, there is a line at which pornography becomes obscenity and is therefore not protected. What is that line? Well, Justice Stewart said, "I'll know it when I see it," which is not the most helpful of judicial doctrines, because it means that it might be decided on a case-by-case basis. And that is very much the case for freedom of speech laws, that we often have to test these laws to determine whether or not speech is protected and how far these laws are allowed to go before they are unconstitutional violations of our First Amendment rights.